Hey everybody, what DIVOC? Love in a pandemic, what could go wrong? Everything. Chapter 17, a day that will go down in history. May 26, 2020, early morning. Jake's phone rings early in the morning. It's the clinic. Yes, thank you. Okay, yes, I understand. Merci. You too. What a relief. The clinic confirms that Jake never had the virus and does not have it now. All clear for him. He can stop the self-isolation and go back to normal. He calls Kate. While he's afraid to hear what she might say, after all, she told him they are no longer a couple and not to call. He still feels like she needs to know. He calls her, but it goes immediately to her answering machine. As she doesn't pick up, he figured that might happen, so he's ready with the message. He tells her quickly, "Hey, Kate, first I need to tell you, I got the call back from the testing clinic. I'm all good. I don't have it. I know what you said, but we have something. I won't give up that easily on us. I just can't. Please call me back." He needs to tell his father and clear his head, so he's going to get out of the house and go see him right away. He takes his phone, hoping Kate will call back, and decides to run over to his father's house. It's amazing how he's improved from when he first started jogging only 11 short weeks ago. He's not ready for a marathon or anything like that, but he's enjoying the adrenaline and the runner's high of feeling good that comes to those who jog as a pastime. As he runs there, he concocts a plan for what he should do for Kate, even if she doesn't want to see him. But he needs to see his dad. If he doesn't have the virus, then it stands to reason that his dad must not as well, which may not be factual, however. He wants to surprise Mac with the good news. Finally, they have some good news. He knocks on Mac's apartment's door. "Dad, it's me. I know I'm not supposed to come and see you yet, but I'm clear. No virus. I wanted to tell you in person. I know you didn't get your test results back, but if I didn't have it, then I didn't give it to you, and you're not going through this alone, whether you have it or not. I'm here to give you a hug, and I want to see you." Mac immediately invites him in. Jake continues, "I need to tell you that these last few weeks have meant everything to me. I haven't been the best son in the world, and Dad, ever since Mom died, we know that you and I just haven't been right. But I love you, Pops. I always have. You need to know that." Max smiles and gets a little teary-eyed and hugs his son. Max says in his ear, "I love you. I talk to your mother every morning when the sun rises, and I tell her all about how you were doing. Son, you are the reason my life has meaning. The sun is new each day because of you." After a short pause, Jake blurts out, "I need some advice. I love Kate. I do love her. I know it. The thought of not being with her makes me ill. I need to know how much she needs to know how much she means to me." Max smiles as he sees joy and hope in his son's eyes. Jake starts explaining what he'd like to do for her. Kate was awake all night. She listens to Jake's message right after he called. Truth be told, she listens to it a couple times, confused again. She's happy he doesn't have the virus, but doesn't make up for the stress her family has undergone the last couple days. No, not really. It would be easier to stay mad at him if he was infected. Now she's questioning everything again. Kate again thinks and thinks and thinks. She won't call Jake back. He still put her through this. Today's priority is to focus and resolve the drama of her home first, and she will get the better once she gets the results today. Or else, she better get those results. Ryan is still sleeping in his room. Kate will let him sleep as much as he needs to, as he's completely drained emotionally and physically. She wants to understand what happened between her father and her son during their argument. Something is not adding up in her mind, and rightfully so. Emma and Lizzie are staying out of earshot, playing downstairs as Kate and her parents sit at the kitchen table. Monroe is making up excuses as to why he called Ryan what he did, but Evelyn and Kate know who he is. They've dealt with this man and his imperfections for years. He is in the wrong, and he needs to be an adult in this situation. He should have never acted like that. He should be better than that, especially with his grandson. Monroe still doesn't divulge that he went to see Lando, however. He's hoping this will just go away and fizzle out, or at least it resurfaces only later on, when everyone has cooler heads. He figures this is absolutely the worst time to bring that up, with his wife and daughter already more upset with him than ever before. I promise. I'll speak to Ryan. I'll make it right and apologize. I promise. The morning rolls along with everyone keeping their distance, at least until Monroe gets a chance to speak with Ryan. Jake is now with LeBlanc on their way to Kate's old folks' home, each wearing a mask. LeBlanc is driving a pickup truck, and Jake's plan to show Kate how much he cares for her. He's decided the best way to convince her that he cares for others the way she does is to do something selfless, because helping others is the right thing to do. That is definitely a lesson he has learned from Kate during these very long weeks. He's always been a good guy, but maybe not a great guy. This is where actions speak louder than words. The plan is a surprise, not for her exactly, but for her residents. He knows or believes Kate is still likely awaiting her test results at home. Why did he choose this plan? That's part of the beauty and terror of the same thing. Love. It makes you do silly things. Jake knows that Kate's residents are like her family, and he wants to brighten up their day. Might not fix the rift between them, but he's got to start somewhere. They pull up to the old folks' home, and there sitting on one of the balconies is old Casanova himself, Rupert. Jake sees the elderly gentleman and shouts up to him. "Excuse me, sir. Do you know Kate? She runs the residence." Rupert replies, "Of course I do. She's always in my business here, trying to stop me from spreading joy to the ladies." Jake is happy that Rupert knows her, but is a little thrown by the quirky old man's style. Okay, could you tell her when she comes back that Jake was here and hopes to talk to her soon?" Rupert, as he's known to do, makes up a story in his own confused way. For those who don't know him, he can be quite convincing when he speaks, and as he comes across as very normal. "Yes, of course, no problem. I speak with her all the time. I'll let her know." Jake, excited and terrified, decides to kick off an uplifting musical concert, a heartfelt gesture for the people living in the building for them to hear. LeBlanc turns on the speakers in the back of his pickup. "Hello, everyone. My name is Jake Ilona, and this is my buddy, Luc LeBlanc." There's only Rupert and two other elderly residents sitting on their individualized balconies at this moment. Jake continues. I know it hasn't been easy for all of you, and we were hoping to bring a smile to your faces. I'm not a professional singer by any stretch of the imagination, so hopefully I don't make you cringe too much when I sing. Here it goes. My first song is all to you, to everyone here. It's called Courage, for Hugh McLennan, by a great Canadian band called the Tragically Hip. You've all shown tremendous courage facing this virus head on. Jake tries his best to sing in key. He's better than expected. Actually, he's pretty good. As he continues, more and more residents pop their heads out from their balconies to see where the music is coming from. Jake is hoping this can help bring a smile to their faces and make them forget about the isolation and loneliness that they have. A little levity and some music can brighten up the day and soothe the soul. Unsuspectingly, the Jake and LeBlanc reporter Zoe Sassy and her cameraman have pulled up behind them a little ways down the street, as they need to get some exterior shots of the long-term care facility for an upcoming story. This spontaneous feel-good moment is just what the doctor ordered and what home viewers need, thinks Zoe. Some good news. She tells the cameraman to start filming right away. As the music goes on, more and more residents flock to their balconies of the three-story complex. They begin to bob and sway back and forth to the sounds of the odd man singing with his buddy playing a guitar in the back of a pickup truck. Staff members all start to come out to see what's happening. Jake starts up another song by a Canadian band, and this time it's even better for the older generation. Taking Care of Business by Bachman Turner Overdrive. I'd like to also dedicate a song to all you staff members. You are the true heroes. I want you to know we appreciate the sacrifices and hard work you're doing to save lives and keep your residents safe. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. The popular classic rock has the entire building dancing around in this beautiful morning. Jake is finishing up his mid-morning mini concert, but he has one more surprise for everyone. 5 police cars and fire trucks pull up. I do have a couple friends who wanted to show how much they appreciate all of the heroes working on the front lines also. The officers and firefighters stand in front of their vehicles and start to turn on their sirens and the flashers. Makes a little noise, but then when they turn off the sirens, the flashers make a beautiful backdrop, a kaleidoscope of colors and lights. The officers behind Jake and LeBlanc are all part of their local unit's choir. Everyone from inside the home is watching, and Rupert yells back to Jake, "Great job, buddy! Great job! Thank you!" Rupert is sitting with a couple of older residents who are enjoying the show also. Jake yells back, "I'm glad you liked it, sir." Rupert adds, "Well, Kate loves it also." Jake is a little confused. "Kate loves it too? She's here?" Rupert confidently replies, "Yes, of course. She just showed up in my apartment right now." Actually, another random older lady out of Jake's sight has entered Rupert's room and is not seeable from the balcony. Jake thinks, oh, maybe Kate received the all clear for her family and she's already back to work. She probably would have let him know that she was there by now, but no matter. Suddenly, he feels that maybe it's destiny that he did this and she's there to see it. Unfortunately, Jake doesn't know that Rupert is totally confused, as the lady he thinks is Kate is actually Myrtle Schultz, a 78-year-old resident. Jake says, "I have one last song, if that's okay, everyone." And he devotes it to Kate. "Kate, I didn't think you'd be here, but since you are, I have to be honest. I'm glad you are. You are the most amazing woman I've ever met. I want you to know how much I respect, admire, and well, I haven't been in love before, but I love you. It makes you do crazy things, and I'm crazy about you. I never could have figured out what I was missing in my life before. It's simple now to me. It was you. All I want is you, and I'm lost without you in it." Jake takes the guitar from LeBlanc and starts strumming the chords to "Lost Together" by Blue Rodeo. The police and fire brigade choir members join him in a beautiful rendition of a song that's all about being in love, and that love is all you need. And then if you're lost, you should be lost together. It's truly a great song. Jake finishes up, hoping to see Kate pop her head out of the crowd, but she doesn't show her face. He has a smile for the joy he's brought, taking this risk and putting himself out there for the world to see with his feelings on his sleeve. He hopes that the climax of this romantic movie is about to happen for him, where she will come running into his arms. But alas, it does not happen. And Jake screams up to Rupert, I know I'm not allowed in. Can you see if Kate will come out?" Rupert, enthralled by all the action, but still confused by his touch of dementia, blurts out simply, "Buddy, good show. But Kate has moved on. She doesn't like your sappy songs anyway." He turns around and walks back into his apartment. Myrtle then walks out of the room, and of course, Rupert thinks that she is Kate. Jake stands there somewhat dumbfounded, not sure what to say or do. He didn't see anyone other than good old Rupert on the balcony, but he was told Kate was in there. He thinks, does this old kook have any idea what he's talking about? Who knows, but what Rupert did just maybe inadvertently shattered Jake's heart. Jake jumps down from the back of the pickup with LeBlanc, who heard everything. "But you can't trust that old guy. He doesn't know Kate the way you do." Jake shrugs. "Who knows? Maybe I am a fool. Hell, I've only known her for a couple of weeks. We haven't even gone on a second real date. This is crazy. What am I doing? This is not me." LeBlanc stops Jake right in his tracks. "Maybe that's a good thing. You not being your regular self, I mean. I love you, bud, but ever since I've known you, you've never gotten excited about someone like you have when you talk about Kate. You get so high, and right now you might be so low. And yeah, maybe it's been a few weeks, but for the first time, I see that you care a whole lot for somebody else. No matter however this turns out, you're living the fullest life you can now, bud. It's better to live with your emotions on your sleeve than to just go through the motions." Jake takes it all in and appreciates his friend's candor. "Thanks for the kick in the ass, buddy. You're right. I really like her. And I love her. That's okay. I want her to feel the same about me, and if she doesn't, well, that sucks. But at least I know I can feel strongly about someone, and that's something." LeBlanc smiles. Life is what it is, I guess. It's almost noon, and Evelyn has decided to take a mid-morning power nap around an hour ago. She was tired and didn't sleep well. She told Kate that she's fine and for her to wake her up when Ryan gets up. She wants to be there for him and wants to hear his version of what happened with his grandpa. Monroe decides to gingerly tiptoe into the bedroom, trying not to wake her up from her nap. He knows, however, that it's impossible. He has never been able to slip into bed and not wake her up. He's hoping she has cooled off a little and is in a better mood. Even if he was in the wrong with Ryan, Evelyn has always forgiven him for being Monroe-like. So he better get to her before Ryan tells her. He knows he has to make amends with Ryan and with her. Monroe's tempting fate here. Meanwhile, at the kitchen table, Kate's phone rings, and finally, it's the testing clinic. She answers nervously, yes, okay, that's good, but there's a long pause. Oh, yes, okay, I know the protocol. Another pause. Quarantine herself, she seems a little lethargic too, but not. Back in the grandparents' bedroom, Monroe lies beside Evelyn in bed and says, dear, I'll make it right with Ryan. I should have never said what I did. My emotions overcame me. I know he's just a teenager. I guess the stress of everything got to me. I just want to be sure you're feeling better and we get back to normal. I also did something you need to know about. Usually by this time, history would suggest that Evelyn would have said something reassuring back to her hubby. But this time, Evelyn still hasn't said anything. Monroe is concerned and turns on the light to see his wife's face. He sees that her breathing is very weak and he's suddenly extremely worried. He calls out for Kate in a tone that she had never heard her father before. Kate! Kate! It's your... Kate, while on the phone, runs to the bedroom like a lightning bolt. Mom, are you all right? She checks her mom's labored breathing and realizes this is very serious. She hangs up on the lady from the testing clinic and calls an ambulance right away. Please hurry, is all that a groggy Ryan hears. Quiet from the morning has been jolted with worry, fear, and anxiety. Emma and Lizzie see what's happening but don't know what to do. Monroe is frozen, holding his wife's hand. Kate tells Ryan, stand outside on the driveway and wave down the ambulance as soon as it comes into sight, as she tries to care for her mother. The ambulance pulls up to Kate's home and two paramedics run inside. Kate is in full take charge mode, explaining to the emergency workers her mother's symptoms. They immediately give her some oxygen for her trip to the hospital. Kate also adds, I just received a call minutes ago that she has COVID-19. The rest of us in the house are all negative. Monroe is watching his wife being prepped to be brought into the ambulance. His mind is fixated on the worst case scenario. I'm going to lose her, my wife, my life. This is not supposed to happen. Ryan watches the paramedics as they do their work and sees his grandfather like he's never seen him before, vulnerable and scared. Emma breaks down. Mom! She starts to freak out a little. Kate says to her, focus and help Dad. Mom has the virus and the rest of us are negative. Get everyone ready. We need to go. Emma pulls herself together and says, okay. Dad, let me help. We're going with Mom. Monroe is in a trance, eyes watery, completely lost. His world is crashing down before his very eyes. Emma turns to Ryan. Get Lizzie, as her daughter sits watching from the bedroom doorway, squeezing her teddy bear. The paramedics bring Evelyn out of the house towards the ambulance with Kate beside them, and Emma walks carefully with her father behind them. With all the commotion, nobody sees William pull up. He ended up sleeping in his car last night down the street out of eyesight. He returns at the worst possible time and blocks the end of the driveway with his car. Yep, he's tanked again. He must be, because who in their right mind would say, what the hell is going on here, Grandma? Oh, shit. I always thought the grumpy old man would go first. William is a mess. It is a heartless and cruel statement, and Emma can't believe what he just shouted out because she's focused on getting her father into the ambulance to ride with Evelyn. Kate is in her zone, however. Ryan and Lizzie, even if they were still inside, heard what William said through the window. Lizzie is shaking in Ryan's arms. William, in his drunken state, blurts out, Lizzie, get your ass out here. I'm going to take you to the hospital with your, he uses air quotes, perfect mother. Ryan can't take it anymore. He tells Lizzie to stay right there and not to come out until he comes back. He runs outside to confront his uncle. A paramedic notices the car is blocking the way and starts yelling at William to move his car or he'll call the cops. Emma has been able to get Monroe into the ambulance with Kate and Evelyn. The other paramedic sees the deteriorating state of the patient and says, "We need to go." Ryan runs and pushes a wobbly, clumsy William to the lawn. He then jumps into the car and moves it out of the way. The ambulance zooms off. William stumbles back into his house instead of confronting anyone. Emma is in shock while Lizzie is still looking through the window, by herself, holding her stuffed animal. Emma and Ryan rush back in to get Lizzie as emotions are running extremely high. "What is going on with Uncle William? What the hell?" asked Ryan to Emma, who doesn't know what to answer back. What can she say? She can't hide his erratic behavior. The secret is out. No more denial, just deflection on Emma's part. "Ryan, it's okay. I promise. I'll take care of this and I'll explain everything, but we need to get to the hospital first." Emma finds Lizzie, hugs her, and apologizes. "Baby, it's okay. I'm sorry. I know you're scared. Grandma needs us and we have to go." The three head back to the car, about to head to the hospital, but William is now once again outside and standing behind the car this time. Emma is rather nervous, as the violence that had escalated over time leaves her worried about how to handle this particular situation. Ryan is extremely angry at his uncle for what he had said earlier and calls him out. "What the hell was that before? Screaming and blocking an ambulance? Are you crazy? Are you drunk? What's wrong with you?" William shrugs him off and pretends to be calm. No, forget it, nephew. It's a bad joke. I need to talk to my wife." Ryan replies angrily again. "Are you crazy? We're heading to the hospital." William then grabs Ryan by the arm. "Listen, I need to talk to her first." Emma needs to defuse the situation quickly in order to get out of there without any more trouble. "Ryan, it's okay. Head on over. We'll be right there." Ryan definitely says, "What? No way. I'm not leaving you here with him." She turns to him and says, "I have this under control. We'll meet you there. Please, I know how to handle him. We'll be right there, I promise. He's just embarrassed in front of you. When you leave, he'll say a couple things and we'll be gone. If not, things can get worse and we have to be there for Grandma. Please, I know what to do." Ryan has to make a choice. Does he stay or leave? His Aunt Emma said she knows how to handle her husband. Grandma and Mom need him. She is the adult. She should know what's best, right? Folks are faced with split-second decisions all the time, and a lot of people would love to change roughly half of them after the fact. But this is life, with choices and choices. Finally, Ryan decides to respect his aunt's wishes begrudgingly. He will leave, but he feels like it's against his better judgment. "Fine, okay, I have my bike. I'll ride over to the hospital. It's not that far. I'll meet you there. I could also get a cab with Lizzie with me if you want." "No," fires back William. Emma wholeheartedly believes she can get out of this without an incident. She just needs to get Ryan out of the situation to diffuse the tension between the two men. Emma looks at Ryan intensely, hugs him, and whispers in his ear, "It's okay, I got this. I'm going to talk to him for 2 minutes and we'll be on our way. I promise, I got this. We'll be okay." Ryan is not convinced and wants to stay, but again reluctantly listens to his aunt. He's only 17 years old after all. He thinks she's okay and has this. She'll be right. She'll be right there. Okay. Ryan hugs Lizzie and says, "Everything is fine. I see you soon. Wait right here and your mom will bring you over." Ryan takes off on his bike while looking back a couple of times to see Emma, William, and Lizzie walking towards their home. They all get inside and Lizzie takes off to her room immediately. William's pretend calmness from outside is gone. "You embarrass me. You like doing that to me?" Emma realizes immediately that this is a mistake to go back inside, and that any semblance of social distancing is completely forgotten amid the high drama. Her thoughts are solely focused on survival mode and getting Lizzie out of the house as soon as possible. No, of course not. My mom's health has me not thinking straight." William yells for another 2 minutes, insulting her and reiterating that she's the problem. She is the one tearing the family apart with her nagging. Emma is staying strong in front of the intense barrage and hopes he will simply get angry, throw a couple of things like he's done in the past, but not get physically close to her. She's strategically searching for the right moment to go get Lizzie out of her room and make their escape. Lizzie is petrified, but remembers what Ryan told her, that if she needs him, to call him. She takes out the paper with his number on it and dials. Then crash! Lizzie hears an object hit the wall. Meanwhile, Ryan is cycling as fast as he can towards the hospital, but has a bad feeling about what he just left. He feels his phone buzzing and stops dead in his tracks. It's the home phone number from Emma's house. Quickly he answers. Lizzie's on the other end of the line. Ryan, I'm scared, he replies. Lizzie, are you okay? What happened? There is a pause, and she says, frightened, Daddy is scaring me. Ryan hastily says, okay, I'm coming back right away. I'll be there in 2 minutes. Stay where you are. I'm coming. William is now standing in her doorway and yells at his daughter. Who are you on the phone with? The line goes dead abruptly. Panic sets in with Ryan. He must hurry. Evelyn is rushed to the emergency room and the medical team is working on her. Kate and Monroe stay in the waiting area. This feels like a life and death situation. Kate tries to support her father, but after taking control of the situation to get Evelyn to the hospital, she breaks down with emotion. Her fears and guilt are kicking in overdrive. My God, Mom might die. I didn't even see it. She blames herself, taking the weight of the world and placing it all on her once again. I was too busy and too worried about other people, too into my own wants. I put Mom at risk, and she starts to cry. Monroe seems to snap out of his daze as he sees his daughter needs him. He holds her hand. Honey, you are the one person who has done everything for everyone else. Your mom is a fighter, and she'll pull through it. If anyone is to blame, it's me. Monroe has a rush of guilt, and Kate looks up at him perplexed. What? Monroe thinks that he may have been the reason why Evelyn caught the virus potentially. There's something you need to know. A few weeks back, I went to meet Lando. Kate pulls her hand away. We talked about Ryan and how to help him, and I thought I could help you. Now I'm thinking maybe Lando may have also passed the virus along to me. I don't know. I never said anything because I didn't think it was such a big deal. And she answers back in a rage. What? You just didn't tell me because you knew you'd be upset, that's all. Oh, I didn't feel sick, Monroe adds. She gets up and walks a few feet away. Kate is trying to process what her father just said. She's confused but very, very angry. Monroe confesses. I should have told you sooner. Kate feels very betrayed. She takes a few breaths. This is where her internal strength and compassion shines once again. Although she's furious, a lot more furious compared to what she was with Jake, she decides right there and then that she and her father need to be united for the sake of their mom. Her dad is in pain and she holds his hand and gives him a hug. The only other thought that pops in her head is Jake. Was she wrong to end it? Her assumptions, her standards, and her rules. Maybe it was a mistake. LeBlanc pats Jake on the back and says, buddy, let's go have a beer. Unfortunately, nobody from the residence really heard his conversation with Rupert, so nobody was able to set him straight that Kate was in fact not in the building. The two men head back in the pickup truck and are about to take off when slam, a bicycle smashes into the side of the front door and a young man goes flying over the hood. Jake and LeBlanc jump out of the car to check if he's okay. It's Ryan. He is no worse for wear, but his bicycle front wheel has been bent. He won't be able to ride the bike any longer. Ryan is a little dazed and gets up, but realizes he needs to run to his aunt's house. Jake sees that it's the young man that he met numerous times from the grocery store. Wait, are you okay? Jake asks as Ryan takes off. Yeah, I'm fine, but I have to go, Ryan says while taking off running as fast as he can. Jake knows something is not right and races right after him, thinking he must be in trouble. This young man just hit a truck and has taken off running like his life depended on it. Jake starts chasing him. LeBlanc is shell-shocked from what just happened and he wants to chase after them in the pickup, but after he gets his bearings, he notices that they both have disappeared around the corner. Jake says in hot pursuit, Hey, I know you. You work at the grocery store. Ryan is focused on getting to his aunt and cousins, turns back slightly and recognizes Jake. The man from the grocery store is chasing him and keeping up, surprisingly. I'm sorry, I can't stop. I'm fine. I think my cousin and aunt are in danger. I need to get there. Jake knows this is serious and continues to run after him. There is no way he can let Ryan go on his own. I'm coming too. Ryan is surprised that this relative stranger is really willing to help without knowing what the heck is going on. They both blaze down the streets running towards Emma's house. William has gone too far. His anger and rage have peaked. First, he slaps Emma and now pushes her to the ground, all in front of Lizzie this time. Emma is fighting back. Physically, she is not as strong as he is, but she's not going to let her husband beat on her. Lizzie is frightened, but the brave little girl decides to do something. No matter how afraid she is, she goes into the living room where her mother is lying on the floor and screams at her father, Leave mommy alone! Leave her alone! William turns and has a look of that no father should ever have towards his child. You're just like your mother. This is her fault, not mine. He steps toward Lizzie. Emma sees for the first time that Lizzie could be a target also by her husband. Emma lunges at William, but he throws her off her back and slams her onto the floor. He again heads towards Lizzie, but suddenly the front door opens with a thud. Ryan barges in and is closely followed by Jake. William's rage turns toward the two men and he pushes Ryan onto the couch. Jake finds himself in a completely unknown situation with a woman on the floor, a room with broken furniture, a little girl crying, and a young man he barely knows getting thrown onto a couch. So many questions go through his mind. What is going on here? Who is this guy? And William turns to him and says, "Who the hell are you? Get out of my house." Jake's gut tells him that actions speak louder than words, and this guy looks like a bad dude. "Listen, buddy, I don't know what's going on here, but let's just relax." "Why don't you just leave?" says William. And Jake says, "I think maybe you should go." William's blood boils as he charges Jake. Like a matador sidestepping the oncoming bull rush, Jake makes a quick move and tosses William to the ground. In the meantime, Emma grabs Lizzie and takes her out of harm's way into another room. Jake and Ryan battle William until they force him outside. William sees that there is no way that he can take on both of the men, so he jumps into his car and takes off. Jake turns to the group and asks, "Is everyone okay?" Emma, Ryan, and Lizzie are all fine, but they've just gone through too much trauma for one day. They thank Jake and apologize, but they need to get to the hospital for a loved one as it's a family emergency. Emma asks for Jake's number since she will call the police to file a report once she gets to the hospital. She'll take Jake's number, and Jake says, "Please do call me if you need anything and speak with the police. I'm glad you guys are just okay." Emma gratefully responds, "I don't know how I could ever thank you, sir." Jake replies, "Mr. Enola, Jacob Enola." Emma thanks Jake again. "Thank you so much. I'm sorry we have to run." And Jake replies, "No worries. My buddy is going to come and get me." Emma and Lizzie get into the car and pull away. And Jake sits down on the curb and calls LeBlanc to come pick him up. "Hey, bud, you're not going to believe what just happened. I'm at 777 Guidon Street. Can you come and get me?" He hangs up the phone and takes a moment and scans the surroundings. He then realizes, holy, this house is right beside Emma's house. Jake hadn't noticed that before. Wait a second. Could that have been Kate's son? Her sister? Her niece? He's blown away. This can't be. Can it? Mid-afternoon rolls in and 3 hours since all the drama went down back at Emma's home. Ryan, Emma, and Lizzie are at the hospital. Emma has explained everything to her sister and father, and they are glad everyone is okay and safe, but it's almost too overwhelming to process. Everything just happened so quickly. Emma also spoke with the police, and they interviewed her at the hospital and filed a police report. Kate and Emma are both grateful to the mystery man who helped their family, if only they could thank the stranger. But that's not for the right now. Emma hasn't told Kate his name as of yet, and they're focused on Evelyn's health right now. Ryan then blows their mind by telling them that this is the same man who helped him get a job, pulled him out of the way of getting hit in a parking lot at work also. This is a lot of information to process, and Evelyn's touch-and-go health is just overwhelming emotionally. Kate realizes her son is a hero. He's a grown man who makes grown men decisions and should have more leeway from his mom. She hugs Ryan and tells him how proud of him she is, and also how she needs to let him be his own person and make his own decisions. Ryan cuts his mom a little slack at the same time. It's okay, Mom. I'll gladly take the independence from you, but you're always the first person I'll tell my life story to. She smiles. 5 minutes earlier, the police had just picked up William, who was wandering around aimlessly. He's been taken into custody and will be locked up until his arraignment in a couple of days. Monroe is a broken man right now. He feels his wife's death is imminent. He feels ashamed for his action, and he hasn't been kind. He's been an arrogant fool. I'm sorry, everyone. I regret not being the dad and the grandpa you needed me to be. Ryan steps up and says, Grandpa, you're the only grandpa I'd ever want. None of us are perfect. We are all family, and this family sticks together. The two men hug. Kate and Emma holds hands, and Lizzie, for a 6-year-old girl who has seen too much pain, finally feels safe in the arms of her family. These experiences have pushed her to grow up way too fast, and who knows what the future will hold. Grandma needs to pull through, though. Jake and LeBlanc now sit in the front steps of Jake's apartment, not saying much, just sitting. Today was quite the day. Jake tells his buddy. Man, they both smile. LeBlanc supportively responds, and you know who's going to be really proud? Your dad, of everything you did. Jake is excited to tell his father everything that happened today. Still a little sad about how it's gone on with Kate, but who knows how it can play. LeBlanc implores him to check in with Kate, see how she's doing, see if it really was her family, and Jake replies, but I can't. She's asked me to no longer reach out. It's the very least I can do. I owe her at least that. I've done everything. I thought I was right. I have to finally listen to what she wants, no matter how much it hurts me. I'm not going to call her. I need to respect what she wants. Hey, I gave the lady my name. If it's really her family, I'm sure they'll find out, and maybe she'll contact me. Only time will tell if this is the right decision, but that's how it's going to be. Another hour goes by as Kate goes outside of the hospital and gets some fresh air. She thinks of Jake. She misses him. The world is just so crazy. Lando's name pops up on her phone, however, and after hearing what her father said, she needs to answer the phone and rip him a new one, once and for all. Before Lando can even get a word in, it starts. You have some nerve. You've always been all about yourself. This is a new low even for you. My father told me everything. You're sick and you didn't get checked out. Do you even know if you had it? What type of man are you? Lando is taken aback, but he comes back swinging. Listen, I called to simply tell you that I'm about to start a special broadcast on my show, and you should likely listen. I'm about to blast the incompetence of the staff in the old folks' homes in our province. Now, with your attitude, I'm thinking maybe I should call you and your center out by name. Seems like you couldn't keep them safe either. Kate punches back. What? What's wrong with you? The staff has done everything in its power to help the residents. You have no idea what you're talking about. Well, boss lady, you're about to get called out on the carpet for the whole town to hear. He snaps back. My staff deserves a credit and your thanks for what they've done. Nothing else, Lando. If you want someone to blame me. I'm the boss. I'll take it, but leave them out of it. Why would you do this? Kate says with bewilderment in her voice. Lando is not done. Why? Because I can, and I just wanted to be sure you knew it. I can do whatever I want, and nobody can stop me. I do what I want, when I want, to whomever I want. John Smith, the oft-insulted producer of the show, hears Lando yelling at his ex and decides enough is enough. Lando told John anyway he's going to try to get him fired after John decided to go on with the show when Lando was hungover a little while back. If John is going to get the axe, he's going down swinging, boy. He has seen Lando berate, scapegoat, intimidate others for far too long, and the best way to stop a bully is to be sure everyone knows that he is simply that, a bully. Lando has no idea, but John has turned on the on-air button right now, and the phone conversation is now on the airwaves. Lando continues his rant. Listen, sweetheart, when I say something, people listen, and you want to know why they listen? It's basically because I said it. I can say anything. They'll believe it. I own them. People are stupid, and I can make the puppets dance anytime I want to. If I say that you and your staff are the problem, then you and your staff are. If I say the government is the problem, then they are. If I say young people are the problem, then it's them. No matter what I say or do, I write the narrative because I have the microphone and the platform. I tell people what to think, and if I had the damn bug, so what? That's my business and nobody else's. Who knows if I had it, and I don't care even. Maybe I'll say I had it, and I'll show them how I fought through it. It doesn't matter if I did it or not. It's my life. The others can be damned. I'm fine, and that's what counts. Kate answers back calmly, not wanting to hear anything else from her fool of an ex. Lando, just leave me and Ryan alone. I don't want our son to learn anything from you. You're selfish and arrogant, and you only care about you. She hangs up. Lando hates being hung up on because that's the shtick that he does with his callers, and he blurts out one last sentence. Good riddance, bitch. I'm going to bury you. Lando turns around and sees the red on-air light is on. Suddenly, the switchboard is ablaze with flashing lights of incoming calls. John stares directly at Lando and says to him, Lando, you said nobody could ever take you down. Remember my name, John Smith. Just an average guy, a nobody. But look at all the other John and Jane Smiths calling now. This ordinary guy wants to be sure the world knows what a bad person you are. Your charade is now over, and the people will not allow it any longer. He leans back in his chair as Lando's temper boils, and he bangs on the glass between him and John. Lando is irate. A radio executive comes rushing into the room behind John, jumps in and says, Cut to commercial. What the hell was that, Lando? You're fired. That's the end of the chapter.